Wrestling fans, our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive is kicking off with an early, unexpected bang as recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush will be joining us live Thursday, November the 5th, here at MWF Studios in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of champion 02176. A lot has been said about Lio while he was with WWE. A lot has been said about Lio since he was released by WWE during the coronavirus outbreak in April. We'll be taping a special Wrestling Insider Rush Hour miniseries to let Lio tell his story his way. At 8 p.m. that night, we'll be going live around the corner and around the world for a special cyber autograph signing where you can get a personalized autograph photo from Lio sent directly to your home. For complete information, visit bostonwrestling.com.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, we want to wish you a very happy Election Day. We hope you had a chance to get out and vote. Let your voices be heard. It's been quite a while since Linda McMahon launched the Smackdown Your Vote campaign, but it did her a world of political good, that's for sure, for her aspirations. Let's hope no matter what the outcome tonight, we can turn into a country of peace. Again, not to be confused with the peace on John Cena Sr.'s head. Old Dan Mirade, he's a registered independent. I have no skin in the game with either party, because if either party would have me, they're not a party I'd want to be a part of. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. Let's find some common ground and respect for one another, like I want to see with Larson and Ken and Maria and all the rest of you in this chat when it gets out of control sometimes during the live premiere. All right, the political rant is officially over. I hope you all had a fun and safe Halloween over the weekend as we battled unseasonably cold temperatures, even a little snow, not to be confused with Al here in the zip code of champions 02176. As I noted during our SmackDown review program, I went to see the original John Carpenter Halloween movie at the theater for the very first time. After all my hard work producing programs for your viewing pleasure, I dozed off a couple of times, and Cecil the Lion elbowed and roared at me in the middle of the theater, trying to wake me up, as our friend the puppet stuck one finger in each one of his ears so he couldn't hear the scares. Sadly, it was a quiet night at the movies. There were only maybe 15 or so people enjoying what I considered to be a classic horror movie. I love Halloween. Anyway, as we prepare to run down the results, news, and views from the November 2nd, 2020 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw underneath the Thunderdome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, let's give our friends and fans a chance to join us, as sometimes they're a couple of minutes late as they join the live premiere and they get in the chat with us. If you want to talk about theoretical voting, well, the numbers are in from October, and you fine folks broke records across the board on our YouTube channel for the second straight month. From the bottom of this old crippled heart, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. We put forth a lot of hard work to keep the lights on, and we continue to need your help. There are 3 simple ways you can always help big time without it costing you a single penny. Number 1, it's simple. Share, share, share. Share the links to our videos on your social media. Share them on a text. Share them on an email. Again, you have to practice that horrible phrase, I detest, social distancing. But if you're going to physical distance, if you're more than 6 feet away, tell a few people about what we have going on here in Boston Wrestling so we can make our ultimate vision a reality. Wouldn't it be something if we had original talk shows like we have with Tony, Marty, and John Cena Sr. 7 nights a week? Think of the difference it could make in these individuals' lives, having that extra income during the worst of times with no live wrestling events, no personal appearances to be had, struggling each and every day. But it's all about you guys. The formula is very simple. Without professional wrestling fans, shows like this don't exist. Live wrestling doesn't exist. The industry doesn't exist. And if you interact with people that don't realize that they're not worth your time. Number 2, hit the thumbs up button. The more people showing love to this in each of our videos, the more love YouTube shows in suggesting our videos to other wrestling fans. And number 3, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Like Reno Chastain's Meals, it is absolutely free. It provides updates on new videos and access to well over 2,000 free videos. As usual, we'll be very busy the rest of the week after our live episode Thursday night at 8 p.m. with Leo Rush. It's Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty, where Marty Jannetty takes us on another no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll trip through the 80s and 90s. This week, he shares, you want to talk about Halloween, he shares a story about a time when the Barbarian violated a woman's shoe, as well as some interesting international tour stories. Friday night after the Thunderdome goes dark in Orlando, a man whose dome never closes, John Cena Sr., is back with another Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Friday, where he discusses the disgusting Alberto Del Rio allegations. And then Saturday night will be LIVE Live for a live AEW Full Gear pay-per-view watch-along. As always, we're interested in your thoughts on Raw, hoping the whole gang is here. Slick Rick B, Tina, Maria Davis, Trigger Trey, Ken, all of the Kevins, Big Ant from Thunder Valley, Will Cortez, Larson, all of the regulars who keep growing and enjoy hanging out with us live during the premieres, whether you're watching this Tuesday night at 10 or in the archives. Share your thoughts on Raw using a 1 to 10 scale in the chat box if it's live, or in the comment section below if it is in the history, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Now that that's over, it's unofficially Christmas season, at least if you put on television now. We went from seeing slasher commercials to hearing jingle bells in the matter of 23 hours, because we wound up losing the night. But anyway, let's get a couple of cheap plugs, news, and notes in. If you want early ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insiders in-studio shoot interviews, our world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD series, and to simply help keep those old wrestling legends working, join our growing family on Patreon, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Forgo a Starbucks coffee and enjoy what I believe is over 100 programs at this point. You'll never have the Pro Wrestling Blues with Boston Wrestling Sports. A Patreon-exclusive episode with Marty is now available that you won't find anywhere but on YouTube, along, again, with early access to some of the upcoming insider shows with Marty, Tony, and John Cena Sr. A big goal by the end of the year would be to have 100 of you on a regular basis. With the quality and quantity of the shows we produce, I'm very confident we can get the job done. And with so much going on, I could easily go for one of those sugar-filled energy drinks that they tell me are no good for me. So what do I do instead? Well, no, we're not talking about my good, longtime, close personal friend Paul Orndorff, the man that stole this gimmick, Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank, that invested in this wonderful Boost Oxygen program on that show. Every time I take a hit, it goes right to my brain. I come to life. I'm ready to compete on Jeopardy. What more can I say? I believe it is manufactured, distributed right out of Connecticut, right here in New England, which is a great thing, too. You can find it at fine retailers everywhere or boostoxygen.com. And I guess if you go into a store that does not have it, do not consider it a fine retailer. Is that a way to look at it, Professor? Well, he nodded. All right. He certainly will not do the Thursday night run-in that Quincy Rastani does during these shows. But whether you enjoyed Raw last night and want to create a little WWE mayhem of your own, or maybe you think you could do a better job than the WWE creative team, the brand new WWE 2K Battlegrounds game is available as we speak. For complete information on this hot new release for PlayStation and Xbox, head on over to WWE.2K.com/Battlegrounds. Little Mirade, Junior Ambassador Devon Brent, he says it's the best WWE video game that's been released in the past few years. Believe me, this kid knows his video games. If you know how often I get the text message, "Hey, Dan, I want some VC. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what VC is, what it does, but I'm a sucker for it anyway. If you know where I can find him the PS5 for Christmas, please hook a brother up. With the holidays coming, it's never too early to start shopping in our eBay store. The link is in the comment section below. We have some awesome, rare collectibles, autographed wrestling memorabilia for sale that includes a video shout-out. Thank you from the WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for you helping us keep the shows going. A personal thank you on the show. That's gratitude, folks. Don't forget, Tony's available for commissioned artwork, prints, personal phone calls, cameo-style videos, autographs, and more. Finally, we have a really cool WWE t-shirt bundle fundraiser going on at bostonwrestling.com/shirts.html. For the regular price of a t-shirt on WWE Shop, we give you not just the t-shirt, but we give you a WWE cup. We give you a mystery autograph photo, and again, you get an on-air personal shout-out from Tony Atlas thanking you. We've got brand new shirts of Bray Wyatt, Undisputed Era, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, The Macho Man, Randy Savage, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The New Day, the NWO, and tons more. Help the show. Get yourself some brand new swag, folks, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we're going to be going live Thursday night at 8 p.m., an individual that was unfortunately released by WWE, a company making record corporate profits in 2020, which is good for me. I'm a stockholder, but he was one of the 30 or so superstars released in a cold, vicious manner back in April. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush. He joins us in studio for the first time in 5 years. He was here with the piece of garbage, now known as the Velveteen Dream. And I know my friend in the corner, the professor, remembers a very spirited phone call I had with Velveteen Dream in the fall of that year, but that's a different story for a different time. Hopefully, Leo and I can maybe discuss that. He is a unique character. A lot was said about Leo when he was with WWE. A lot was said about Leo after he was released by WWE. He's a young man with an opinion. And we're going to be creating Wrestling Insiders Rush Hour, the miniseries. So you're going to hear his story, his way, from his mouth. And I think that's only fair. It's not going to be edited. It's not going to be, what is the cool kids term that they use on social media, Prof? Clickbait? Is that it? Clickbait? Well, there's going to be no clickbait here on Wrestling Insiders Rush Hour, folks. All right, with all that talking aside, hopefully you'll join us at 8 p.m. Eastern with Leo live on Thursday night. With that said, joining me right now is Southwestern Connecticut's finest, Mr. Matt Degnan. So what a night. The Thunderdome and the Amway Center in Orlando was rocking, but the big question is, did you get out and vote today for the first time in a presidential election, I'm going to guess?
Of course I did. Did you?
Twice. Now, will you reveal who you voted for? Do you think that'll get too much heat?
I don't like getting political on the show, so.
But you did vote.
I did vote. It was
All
my
right.
first time voting for presidential, but third time voting overall. So,
All right,
but I
well,
like voting. I think it's a good.
You had a lot of fun with it, I guess.
Yeah, it almost feels like a holiday.
Really? It feels like a holiday.
Did you know who I voted or voted with?
I'm going to guess my good friend that thinks I look like a very elderly man known as Nancy.
No, Angelo.
Angelo. Well, that was my second guess. And actually, that's true that time because I said it.
Well, it was Angelo's first time voting ever, so he had a good time. It took him a little long to fill out the ballot. I think he was confused. I think he was confused about where to put the bubbles, but well, I guess he'll learn.
Hopefully Larson won't be talking about Maria's bubbles tonight, but that's a different story for a different time. As we discuss the November, what was yesterday's date? The November 2nd, 2020 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. I continue to dislike the new Raw opening, and I do not like the theme song. As each Raw and SmackDown opens now, one thing I've started to notice is they call it the award-winning Thunderdome. My question is, what award did the Thunderdome win?
They won some award for...
Yeah, that one.
Some award for the Thunderdome about presentation and
Best Thunderdome of 2020, maybe.
Second best, I
Second,
believe.
all right, well, at least it was a runner-up.
Yeah, behind the one on Friday nights.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so what do we got for the big one, baby?
Well, the viewership just rolled in.
Well, we'll save that for the end. Come on now, that's our favorite pastime, that little game.
Yeah. Randy Orton kicked off Raw in the Thunderdome by saying he is willing to fend off any challengers who come out. But we get an unexpected guest in Alexa Bliss. As she gets in the ring and does her little shtick with the gloves and everything, the Fiend's music plays, but Bray Wyatt doesn't come out. Instead, Drew McIntyre does and hits Randy with the Claymore kick out of nowhere. As WWE Champion Randy Orton lays down and out, Mr. Money in the Bank, The Miz, and his cohort, John Morrison, storm the ring to cash in the briefcase, but not so quick, as McIntyre wasn't going to let them do it, because he takes them out and then states, if anyone's going to beat Randy for the WWE Championship, it's me. Kind of not all over the place, but a little too much going on, but what are you going to do? What did you think of this opening segment?
I thought it was rather long, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little on the long side. I think that could have been accomplished in about 4 minutes, but you know what? Why not go with 20?
A little long, not that good, but hey, what are we going to do?
There's been worse. There's been a lot better.
No. What did you think of it overall, though? What did you think of Randy's promo?
Randy Orton's promos are fine, but the only thing to pick apart is that they're awfully similar when he doesn't have new material to work with. And this was one of those weeks where he didn't have much new material to work with.
It's like they script them all the same.
As soon as I saw Alexa, if I was watching the show for pure enjoyment, that's when the remote control would have come out. But I do not watch the program for pure enjoyment. I watch it, A, as someone that works in the professional wrestling industry, B, a WWE stockholder, and C, to be able to review the show for our great friends. They're not even fans. They're great friends.
Good friends. The next segment, Jeff Hardy defeated Elias in a guitar on a pole match to hopefully end this feud. I thought the whole gimmick of whatever on a pole match is once you get it and hit them with it, you win.
I agree with you. Yes, I didn't know that wasn't the end. I was wishing it was the end, but it only continued.
And Jeff Hardy hit him with it, the guitar, and then it didn't really break that good either. It looked kind of painful. And then
maybe it wasn't gimmicked.
Probably
it was like
not.
Honky Tonk and Jake the Snake from the Snake Pit in March of 1987.
He didn't hit him on the head. He hit him on the back this time, which is better. But who knows? Oh, I don't want to say that.
That's all right. Hopefully it'll be on the shelf again for another 6 months.
I was about to say that, but I didn't want to.
He can release a new album in the meantime.
Yeah. Anything else on that match?
No, to be honest, the match was fine. I don't know how to word it other than the match was fine, but it still sucked. It was something that I had zero interest in watching, zero interest in seeing, and zero interest in ever seeing again, but I have a feeling there'll be more.
There wasn't many notes on this stuff for Raw tonight. I have a feeling it's going to be a quick review.
Well, there's nothing wrong. After Tony's discussion of the tale of two Kamalas earlier tonight on Wrestling Insiders, the fans may be happy about that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that'll not be said with the big doubleheader we have Thursday night when we go live at 8 and then Party with Marty at 9, but we'll get there. All right, let's keep talking Raw, baby.
Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Another slow and boring women's match. I mean, again, just another match I really don't have notes for other than it sucked. But what did you say?
I had notes for this one. 4 of the 5 members of Raw's Survivor Series team going against each other. That has a lot of common sense for the executives of Raw. Well, we want to win at Survivor Series, so let's have 4 of the 5 members wrestle against each other. And to make this even worse, we'll have the 5th member come out and try and run interference with our giant division of about 9 women that they have. Atrocious, fake-looking wrestling. There was just no common sense to any of it. I can't imagine there was one fan on the planet that wanted to see the match. It was just atrocious, fake-looking wrestling. I'll say it again. Why the powers that be, storyline-wise, from Raw would want their Survivor Series team at each other's throat. Makes no sense. Why Lana would bother to come out made no sense. It was an absolutely awful segment. It was pathetic. I wanted to change the channel badly at this point, and that topic came up many times.
Every year since 2016, leading up to Survivor Series, they just have to have everyone on the team fighting with each other, one team or the other. They'll always have one team be completely fine with each other, and then the other team just have complete problems leading up to Survivor Series. This year, it looks like it's going to be Raw having the problems between each other, and then SmackDown being, we're all
Lots of problems.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, for the fans that want to enjoy the good old days of Survivor Series, well, I believe on Thanksgiving Eve, myself, you, and Dave Carter will be doing the Survivor Series 1987 watch-along.
1987. Good year.
It was a great year for the world of professional wrestling. I understand you've been having impure thoughts still about Donna Christinello and Don Marie, not to be confused with the ECW Don Marie, to say the least.
No. The next match, United States champion Bobby Lashley defeated 24/7 champion R-Truth in a non-title match for both titles. To make that clear, Truth says before the match in an interview he thought he was facing Bobby Boucher from The Waterboy for some reason.
I had no idea what that meant.
Truth he's good at comedy, but that one was kind of dumb. Do you know who Bobby Boucher is?
I don't have a clue who Bobby Boucher is.
Bobby Boucher is a character played by Adam Sandler in the movie Waterboy, who is a water boy but wants to play football, and he gets a spot on a team as like a linebacker, and he ends up playing really well, and he's kind of not fully special needs. But
and isn't this movie about 20-something years old?
About 22 years old.
22. All right. Okay. So I was still in high school when this came out.
In 98? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending on the month, yeah.
I always forget how such a young man you are.
Thank you. Just remind your mother of that, please.
Yeah. But, I mean, I thought it was kind of stupid, you know?
Yes, it was very stupid, with some blonde woman that just stood there looking on aimlessly, confused, not knowing what she's talking about, having no real reason to be there, but she'll be gone sooner than later like the rest of them.
If they're trying to cater to the young crowd, they're going to hear this and say, what? You know, they don't know who Bobby Boucher is.
I can't imagine. Baby Mirade, for example, at 15, if he was watching, what he thought of the Bobby Boucher joke. If at my age, I didn't get the Bobby Boucher joke.
Yeah. It was a very quick matchup, though, that lasted all of about 30 seconds, at tops maybe 45. After the match, Drew Gulak pinned R-Truth for the 24/7 title, but Lashley intercepted it in between and took him out, then laid Gulak on top of Truth, and Gulak did end up getting the title, unbeknownst to him, as he was knocked out. And I don't know, just
the personification of nobody cares. Poor Bobby Lashley being stuck in this garbage. You know, people say, Drew Gulak's a good worker, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing in Drew Gulak in me that would say, geez, I'd go out of my way to sign that man to a talent contract. And R-Truth, you know, he's fun for the second match on a house show. And Lashley, I think, is someone that should be main eventing WrestleMania with Lesnar. So there are my thoughts on the three guys involved in this one. A bit of a mismatch, if you will.
This next segment gets a little confusing and all over the place. It was way too long. It was just way too grueling to sit through. Yeah. The next segment, AJ Styles came out to cut a promo on Survivor Series and how he was the team captain for Raw, which he isn't. After that, he introduces his other teammates so far, Sheamus and Keith Lee. Sheamus and Lee make sure AJ knows.
You actually said that like it was something important, which is why I started to laugh. But continue, sir, please.
I got to try to make it sound important, because if they're not going to try to make it important, someone has to. Sheamus and Lee make sure AJ knows he's not the captain. As the three of them go back and forth, out comes the monster among men, Braun Strowman. He just claims he's on Team Raw, but Keith Lee points out he is not qualified yet. Guess he didn't register to be part of Team Raw. WWE Chairman Adam Pearce comes out and says he can't.
Who is he now?
He's the WWE Chairman.
Oh, so he got a promotion. I thought last time he was on TV and they had a graphic, I thought it just said WWE official.
Well,
he's the
I guess
chairman now? All right, well, good for him. He's doing all right during the Corona times.
Well, it's not a real promotion, but...
No, his character has been enhanced.
His character, just with the little Viagra, he's been pushed up a little bit. He comes out and says he can't find anyone to face Braun Strowman to qualify for Team Raw at Survivor Series.
Nobody wanted the spot. They just all said the hell with it. Let him have it.
So I guess now these wrestlers can just deny matches, I guess. So I guess they're not going to get paid if they don't show up and deny working.
They should. I would have had a little fun with it. I would have said, you know what? Well, we offered it to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and they both turned it down. So Braun Strowman's on the team now.
Whoa, hang on. Styles then brings up the idea of Braun Strowman versus Sheamus versus Keith Lee, and if Strowman wins, he qualifies. Adam Pearce then confirms the match while he's on stage. I don't know. Why does the WWE, this is from a storyline aspect, just let wrestlers make matches? WWE makes the matches, not the wrestlers.
Well,
Adam Page.
In this instance, I have to say it wasn't as bad because at least someone okayed it. You know what I mean? Usually it just starts after the commercial break.
Yeah,
at least here, someone gave it the thumbs up at least.
It was a little bit better, but
not much.
Not much, but at least something. And it's just, I don't know how they can let these wrestlers just start making matches on a whim, not like our other friend Whim.
Please.
But please. I don't know.
Worried we Thursday night with a little late trick-or-treating for Whim. You never know.
Looking in the window.
Looking for 8x10s, yeah.
But what did you think of this segment? And then we'll talk about the match.
It was just so bad. It just felt like a promo. It was about nothing. Nobody cared. Keith Lee comes out. I don't know, for a guy that's so talented, every time he speaks into the microphone, it's almost like he should be like at a lounge singer at some bar that holds about 30 people out in Las Vegas, some cheap lounge singer or something like that. Why they would want to put together a match that would have common sense, again, where the team members of Survivor Series would all be fighting each other. If AJ's the captain, why would he want Sheamus and Lee to potentially injure each other? No common sense there. Strowman wins with the big kick. Then they had the big hugs, and then they all turned each other, which again made no sense if they're all on the same team at Survivor Series. The whole thing defied logic and sucked. Well, I got to it for you, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the next match, which was brought up by the previous segment, Braun Strowman defeated Sheamus and Keith Lee.
Oh, I really jumped ahead. I apologize.
To qualify for Team Raw at Survivor Series. I thought it was a solid triple threat match that was pretty entertaining, even though everyone knew Braun Strowman was going to win, kind of telegraphed a little bit. After the match, Strowman, Lee, Sheamus, and Styles obviously got into a brawl. Sheamus bro-kicking Braun, and then Keith Lee doing that big shoulder tackle to Sheamus to get him out of the ring, and then Styles drop kicks Keith Lee out of it. Was just all over the place, and just for whatever it was, a half hour to 40 minutes of this, it just was all over the place.
A lot of garbage.
A lot of garbage, I guess you could say. The thing is with WWE, the match quality is usually good. Once bell to bell, it's fine. But once you get outside of that, it's just complete nonsense. But what are you going to do? Speaking of complete nonsense, Angel Garza cuts a promo on basically nobody, but he claims it's that special someone in the WWE universe and the love they have for him. He then gives no one and everyone a rose at the same time. He gives a rose in front of the camera and says, "This one's for you." So I guess Angel Garza gave me a rose last night on Raw.
Well, you know who it's going to be for.
No, it's going to be for Kayla Braxton or one of the other people.
No. Big Nya. They can't avoid making a guy that's going to be a future main eventer from years to come to look like a fucking idiot by having the hots for her. Even if she's about 200 pounds heavier and 6 inches taller than him. No, well, they got to go the comedy route. Because, it'll be really funny.
I think it's going to be a mess.
He was with some blonde model from some reality show a month ago that him and Ivar were both vying for, and now he's going for Nya.
I don't know. I think it's going to lead to nothing. I have no hopes for Angel Garza, but
I'm just the opposite, but that's just my opinion.
No. I think he's worth more and can do more, but with this...
Then give roses to Nya Jax?
Yes. What they're doing with him right now is not going to make me want to see him.
They'll probably have her put him through a table, too, just to add to it and make it even better.
The next segment, Firefly... Whoa, you okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard a little rustling. Didn't know if you took a tumble.
I was actually changing my note sheets.
Would you hit the microphone with it?
I must have brushed against the microphone.
The next segment, Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. I don't know how many times me and you have to say this. I've said it multiple times on the show. This little Funhouse thing they do is just not interesting and not entertaining at all. I think it takes away from their characters more than it adds to them. If anything, what do you think about it? I mean, I kind of already know what you're going to say.
It makes Bray Wyatt look like a moron. It waters down the impact of The Fiend, who's one of the few characters left in the company that's actually over, by having him go out with his Mr. Rogers sweater. It's not fun. It may be a house, but there is no fun in it. The segment was an embarrassment. They relive the history of the haunted house match in the days before cinematic wrestling was a constant thing. And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, Bray is upset that Randy burned down the haunted house from, I think maybe it was Extreme Rules 17, whichever the first pay-per-view was after WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. And then some red goo came out of Alexa's mouth, which is, well, I could go in many directions with that. And then the puppets were swearing. You really can't make this up, but unfortunately, that's what this organization decided to present to the fans, whose the median age watching is in their mid-50s, wanting to watch swearing puppets and red goo coming out of Alexa's mouth.
It looked like something else. I don't want to.
What are you trying to insinuate was coming out of her mouth?
Yeah, well, I don't want to get on.
It's a good thing we have the Nightbot going in the live chat. Yeah. Please.
To keep a hold of Larson.
Well, yes, exactly.
The next match, Nya Jax defeated Lana, just because we needed to see them again later in the night. And of course, after the match, Lana was Samoan dropped through the announce table for the 8th week, I believe, in a row. Another match I really don't have notes for positive. I mean, other than nobody really wants to see it. Yeah, positive. Not COVID positive, but no.
Certainly wouldn't want that for Big Nia. But, as I've said many times on the show, a WWE television program cannot be complete unless they destroy an announcer's table. And Shayna went out there before the match even began and started to dismantle the announcer's table. Why bother? No one wants to see Nia Jax once, never mind twice. I'm surprised she didn't come in wearing a bikini with Angel Garza with the rose. I'm sure that's going to come sooner than later. If nobody cares, if no one wants to watch another boring match with Lana and Nia Jax with fake-looking offense, no selling. I mean, Lana goes through the table every week and she never seems injured by it. Why bother to do it over and over and over and over and over again?
And over.
And over again, in case you didn't hear me.
The next segment is the VIP lounge with the Hurt Business. And I don't know if they were guests or uninvited guests, the New Day. I thought this segment was a little too long, maybe a lot longer than I would have anticipated.
It hurt me.
But the New Day tend to make segments feel a little better because they do the comedy and the sports entertainment so well that they make a long segment just a little more entertaining than grueling. This led to a match of the New Day defeating the Hurt Business, which was represented by Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Thought it was a solid tag team match from 4 good workers. I'm glad something felt fresh on this show, as they haven't done this match before. So at least they did something we haven't seen over and over and over again. But what did you think of this little talking segment that lasted too long and then a pretty solid match afterwards?
I'm talking about both this time or just the first part?
Well, they kind of gel into one.
Okay, I thought the interview segment went a little bit too long. As I've said before, I think New Day is about the only grouping in WWE that I find that does quote-unquote sports entertainment right. You know, sometimes they make me laugh and chuckle a little bit with their back and forth and their banter, and I thought Xavier Woods was funny, saying that he was in the 6th grade or something when he had to stay up late to watch Bobby wrestle, and Kofi's a funny guy in general. So as far as the match goes, I thought the match was very, very good. I enjoyed the non-title match. I thought it was the right decision to have Hurt Business go over the New Day in a non-title match. I thought it was right to have Woods take the pin. If you were going to have the guy that was world champion coming out of WrestleMania taking the pin in a non-title match on Raw, I'd probably be swearing a little bit right now. But no, I thought it was a very good tag team match. I had much more interest in seeing this than the dual brand garbage that nobody cares about that they'll have at Survivor Series. I'm sure with the lack of tag teams in WWE, in about a month from now, we'll be on weeks 5 or 6 of New Day and Hurt Business tag team matches. And by that point, maybe I'll say, well, we'll have had enough of that program. But for week 1, I thought it was very, very good. I thought it was the best part of the show.
Wait, Hurt Business won?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I put down New Day won. Well, shows how much I care about it. But
well, I got to be honest. I fell asleep during the Braun Strowman match, so I had to rewatch the rest of it this morning when I woke up in the middle of battling JetBlue canceling all of our flights. But again, a different story for a different time.
Please.
JetBlue, and I like JetBlue, but they're pissing me the F off.
Oh, well, are you going to shoot on them right now?
I tweeted at them already, and that got them moving a little bit, but it's screwing with a lot of upcoming dates.
I don't want to make you angry, so I want to talk about...
Well, I'm beyond angry with JetBlue right now. I'm going to keep shooting on JetBlue until they make it right. They're creating a lot of work for me that I do not need. I was up at 4:45 this morning, pissed. Not just up at 4:45. I was up at 4:45, pissed. Not even asking for the blue light.
Well, here's something you didn't ask for as well. Ricochet defeating Tucker in a very quick match, basically almost like a squash match. Just a little. Tucker got a little bit in. Tucker has been repackaged as a heel jobber.
That's one way to describe it. I didn't even realize it was him. I thought it was some guy from NXT. I didn't realize it was old Tucker.
Oh, you didn't know it was Tucker?
Didn't have a clue when the match began that was Tucker.
His last name was on his ass.
Well, I really wasn't looking at his ass, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. After the match, Retribution attacked Ricochet and Tucker. They focused more on Tucker than Ricochet because of the whole thing that happened with Otis. And the hacker months ago revealed that the whole thing with Otis and Mandy and bringing them back together. And
this was very deep.
Very deep.
Very deep.
That still no one cares about. Anything on this match and Retribution?
To be honest, I got excited when they were plugging something that Ricochet was coming out. I said, I bet this will be good. And then they got to the ring, and it's some big guy. And I said, who the fuck is this? And then I realized it was Tucker, and it was even worse. So that was my thought on the match. Mustafa Ali came out, and all of a sudden he's standing on the table that moments ago was destroyed by Big Nya putting Lana through it. They either fixed the table or they just had a giant supply of commentary tables around the Thunderdome. I was a little confused. The faction, it was a good usage of the faction to destroy the two of them. The only problem is they had the shit knocked out of them by the Hurt Business for several weeks in a row, so they're not over and they have no value anymore.
No.
And before that, I'm sorry.
I didn't think they had value to begin with, but I don't know. Go on.
You missed the vignette. The vignette before Ricochet and Tucker was Nikki Cross confronting the Deidre Hall 1995 possessed Alexa Bliss. And another hot segment that no one really cared about, but I just wanted to get that in there in case there are one or two people on the planet that may be enjoying Alexa Possessed.
Maybe Rick B does.
You know, Slick Rick would be able to knock it right out of her, if you know what I mean. But it's a different story for a different time.
The main event, Drew McIntyre defeated The Miz and John Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match. This was a very boring main event that it's just very underwhelming, you know. Try to end on a high note. It ended I would say a decent Raw, just very badly. I already had a sour taste in my mouth on the show, but it even left an even sour one in my mouth. After the match, Randy Orton RKO Drew McIntyre out of nowhere. But Bray Wyatt had the last laugh, literally.
No pun intended.
As his creepy laugh played through the Thunderdome as Raw went off the air. I thought the main event was just, again, bell to bell, it's decent wrestling. But again, who wants to see a 2-on-1 handicap with The Miz and it just makes Mr. Money in the Bank look just like garbage, as you would say. If he and a tag team partner can't defeat someone who just got beat for the title, how is he ever going to cash in on the champion? And even if he does cash in successfully, how is he going to be portrayed as a true champion if he looks like a complete idiot building up to it? This has to be one of the worst Money in the Bank years I've seen. You know, just awful.
Maybe that's why I haven't been able to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm still upset that Otis lost it.
It's been an awful year for the Money in the Bank briefcase. The Money in the Bank briefcase has been wasted for years. I know
what happened to the Money in the Bank lunchbox is what I want to know. Is it gone?
We'll see. Maybe Tucker brings it out. I don't know. What did you think of the main event?
Didn't they just do this with Braun Strowman on SmackDown like 2 or 3 months ago? Or is my brain in another stratosphere?
Against who?
Miz and Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that like a pay-per-view main event or something?
Yeah, it was for the WWE Universal Championship.
Yeah, a big one. Yeah. Well, I had zero interest in that, and to be honest, I had a little less interest in this one. But you know what? I have to say, aside from the presentation of it, the execution of it wasn't that bad. I mean, they went out there, they worked hard. It was awfully long. It was a long main event, which I really don't think they needed for a handicap match. I think that kind of hurts the talent when, you know, they're out there for 20, 25 minutes and 2-on-1, they still can't put the guy away. But that's just me nitpicking a little bit. Again, they worked hard. The match wasn't that bad outside the auspices of what the structure of it was. There was just zero interest in it for me. Maybe if they took the time to build it up and announced it for next week, they had a little sizzle to it. I don't know. The IK out of nowhere from Orton wasn't much of a surprise. The Fiend laughing really wasn't much of a surprise. To be honest, I was just happy it was over. And I hate to say that because I want to like it.
You want to. I mean,
do.
That's why I said before, it's decent wrestling, and then you get the other stuff. We'll get into
certainly not the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive as it kicks off Thursday Night Live at 8 p.m. with recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush live in studio at the Cyber Autograph signing. BostonWrestling.com. The link is already up. Set a reminder so you don't forget it. An hour before we party with Marty, when Marty discusses a very interesting violation of the Barbarian, the 80s and 90s WWF, WCW stars, some international tour shenanigans, and it was the night the lights went out at MWF Studios. You remember that one?
Oh,
Glantz
yeah.
was there, as a matter of fact.
The last time.
The artist formerly known as Glantz. So it's a big Thursday night. But anyway, back to Raw from last night, please.
We'll go into our
Get
grades
this shit
now.
over with. I've had enough. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. As you guys can leave your grades in the comment section below after the video, but if you're watching it live right now, you can put it in the live premiere chat. You can also put in the live premiere chat a super chat along with your grade to put it up there for everyone to see.
We deserve it after sitting through this.
Yes, of course. My Raw grade was 4 out of 10. I thought there was nothing, obviously, nothing great on the show. A few things that kind of made me almost throw up, but I gave it a 4. What did you give it?
There
Mr.
was
Damon?
nothing on the show that really held my interest outside of the tag team title match. I was hoping for an enjoyable Ricochet match, and they even had to take that away from me when they put the camera on the ring, and it was fucking Tucker. I have no interest in next week's Raw. I have no interest in SmackDown. I have no interest in Survivor Series. They accomplished nothing in 3 hours. I give it a 3 out of 10, based just on the hard work of the athletes alone. The creative was so boring. Like I said, I fell asleep during the triple threat match when they were trying to build up the men's team. I was out like a light. I had to rewatch it on the DVD. Well, you know what, I can't go into too many specifics on that, but I have been taking a new medication of late that isn't helping the cause when WWE is on the TV.
Do you want to guess the viewership?
60,000. No.
You got it, actually.
Let's see. No baseball. Who was the football game? Who played in the Monday Night Football game?
Bucks and Giants.
It's November.
Well,
1-7.
1,656,000.
Jesus Christ. Kid, what? Why can't I? You know, I'd like to be wrong one of these weeks. You know what I mean? I'd rather you be like, no, it was 300,000 or 400,000 more, and I'd be like, oh, good, at least someone liked it. But
you only were off by 44,000. But the third hour did an all-time record low, 1,455,000.
And let me go through my notes again. Let's see.
That's
on
just
the third hour. They did the Ricochet and Tucker. They did McIntyre and Morrison. They had who else was on the third hour?
New Day and Hurt Business.
Oh, that's
I think
too bad. Well, look at what they set the table for the third hour with. 2 hours of garbage.
They didn't even crack 1.5 in the third hour. They got 1.4.5. That's just awful. I have one little
the bleeding at some point has to stop. But I mean, I could do hours on the things they need to do to improve the product to try and get to stabilize what they have now and increase what they have now. But
for a different
episode, I should be
episode.
paid for that.
But they didn't call.
They didn't call, and I haven't called them because I realize this might not be the year for a relatively new employment or for myself returning to WWE for the first time in 19 years outside of the Steve Austin movie. But anyway, go ahead, please.
One little note.
Good.
Little note. Matt Riddle will go by just Riddle now, and he'll have a more serious presentation. So we'll likely be seeing a character change and some ring gear and some new theme music as well, which I know you've been clamoring for, as you don't like his presentation. He's too much of a goof. So,
well, unfortunately, nothing is going to change other than the elimination of his first name.
He'll be more serious now, which is better because he was portrayed like a goof before.
Why do you think he's going to be portrayed as more serious?
Because that's what's going to happen.
No.
So, I wouldn't even call it an okay Raw. I would call it
It was awful.
Yeah, it was awful.
It sucked. There was in 3 hours. There was about 20 minutes I enjoyed.
I mean, I gave it a 4, and that was still a little generous.
You were being kind.
The
holiday season is upon us, especially if it was Thursday and Quincy was here.
I was probably a little happy because I went 7-1 in fantasy football.
All right, well, and then there's that.
And there's that. But I think the next time me and you will be talking is going to be Thursday morning.
I think we're going to have to. I think the AEW NXT is going to have to be delayed by a day with everything we have going on Thursday night.
Unless Leo wants to do it with us. But
maybe Leo wants, yeah. Well, we'll see. That'd be kind of interesting. But we got a big Thursday ahead, folks. We got a big every day here. We are planning for either 50 or 51 productions in the month of November. If we can pull that off, And I keep saying we. Well, you do. You contribute a lot, too. For the fans that think I sit there and I am the Wizard of Oz that has to sit there and produce all the videos, which I do. But, I mean, Matt puts a lot of time into it, behind the scenes, getting the shows ready, scripting them, co-hosting them, traveling in some cases to them. So he does a lot. Now Dave is even popping in for the live pay-per-views, and I just want to continue to expand and lessen the burden on myself. But we are in for a busy November and December. But if we can pull off 51 in 1 month, because during I think the opening to the show was so long, you had to take a 15-minute break, but you missed the part where I said that the month of October, we actually shattered the record-breaking September that we had across all metrics. So I was thrilled. 2 months in a row now, kid.
For some people, it might be a cold late fall and early winter, but it's going to be a hot one for the MWF.
And Boston wrestling sports in general, please.
Yes, please.
And then what about December? December potentially could even
early winter.
But I mean, I think December could potentially even be bigger because you don't even know about the surprise Thursday night. I haven't even hinted at it yet.
I don't even know what my mission's going to be yet.
Well, I don't either. So I think we'll have a fun story to tell next week on one of these review shows because there are a lot of moving pieces going on right now as we prepare to kick off the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. We wish we could bring you a live event in 2020, but due to the COVID outbreak, we are limiting it to the world of cyber. And no, please get your mind out of the gutter, not like that. We're going to have cyber autograph signings, cyber specials, live watch-alongs, pre-recorded watch-alongs. Who's this pulling up? Who's this jobber going to Dunkin' Donuts? I'm getting hungry. It's been a long day. I was here very early to prepare, and I lost my train of thought, but I'm excited about Thursday very much. I think we're going to produce some great content that fans, especially fans of 2020 WWE, are really going to enjoy. That is my prediction.
Are you looking forward to our live watch along November the 7th, this Saturday, for Full Gear?
Potentially. I'm not looking forward to it. I'll put it like that. I think we'll have fun. I think a threesome makes it a little bit easier to deal with.
What?
Well,
a menage a trois?
Well, we need a little boost of oxygen for that for old Dan Mirade. He can't even handle one anymore in his physical state. But I think having 3 people watch the pay-per-view, I think it makes it a little bit more fun, especially as things go haywire as they always do, and I am called out of the studio to handle some kind of a fight or put out. I think they've been fun. What really surprised me was I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Bound for Glory one was the highest viewed watch-along we've done.
I could thank Impact Wrestling.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I think it's probably, honestly, I think it's because no one really ordered it, but they kind of wanted to know what was going on. So they said, well, let's see what these goofs are up to. But no, I was shocked by the Bound for Glory numbers. What was the pay-per-view after Bound for Glory? Hell in a Cell.
Well, yeah, that one.
Oh, did much bigger numbers than Hell in a Cell. So I was surprised by that. I'll take any big number. Like I said, it was a record-setting month of October, and I'm telling you this, kiddo, January 1st, 2021, God only knows what'll be going on in this planet. Watch coronavirus shut down the studio or something like that at this point. But everything we have in the month of November, then with everything we have planned in December, a lot of which the fans don't even know about, I want to wake up January 1st, 2021, usually around 9 or 10 o'clock. The metrics come out that I look at, and I want December of 2020 to be the biggest month in the history of that channel. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm very happy with September and October, though. Yeah. When I say record-setting, not even close to number 3.
Yeah.
So, you know what? The fans are liking what we're doing. They're enjoying Tony Atlas. They're enjoying Marty Jannetty, enjoying John Cena Sr. I think they'll enjoy the Wrestling Insiders Rush Hour, the miniseries. We got Vicky Guerrero's Survivor Series Night for a special edition of Wrestling Insiders. Brutus the Barber Beefcake was here for several episodes. We're going to have another special Wrestling Insiders on the night of, what is the name of the December pay-per-view? TLC?
TLC.
We're going to have a Hall of Fame watch-along for NXT TakeOver in December. It just keeps getting bigger and better. You got to go to BostonWrestling.com. You got to participate in the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. If you donate to a toy drive, make sure it's this one. It's professional wrestling related. We're a small, growing family in and of ourselves, and it helps honor the name and the memory of a great human being who I continue to miss every single day. If you are in the market to buy wrestling merchandise for Christmas, we got the eBay store. We have the cool T-shirt fundraiser going on at bostonwrestling.com/shirts.html. But as I noted earlier, the big thing you guys can do, even if you don't have a penny to help us out, share across social media, text your friends, make a phone call, yell out the window if you have to. Let fans know what's going on, because as we've seen, as these numbers continue to grow and grow and grow, we're making a lot more new friends. And like I said, my ultimate goal, imagine if we could have a fresh talk show with a different superstar 7 nights a week, if we're able to generate enough from the fans to do that. That would be awesome. Think of how many lives we could change with these wrestling legends that have been out of work since March, with no shows to wrestle on, with very few appearances to make. Yeah, it would mean a lot, you know? And I'm the type, I hate to even bring up money, but it's a necessity because we can't do this for free. I mean, look at how much you cost me, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
We got to talk to Kevin O'Leary, my good friend, Mr. Wonderful. Thinks he's stealing Paul Orndorff's gimmick. But you know what? I'll take his gimmicks for the set, brother. They are wonderful.
Yeah, maybe we can get him in the studio for a shoot.
All right. Well, he's welcome, and maybe he'll do the Full Gear watch along.
Oh, I don't know about that.
All right. Well, we've bantered long enough. All right. For my good friend, the prodigy of Southwestern Connecticut, a man whose socks are never pulled all the way up, Mr. Matt Degnan. I don't think that made any sense, but I'm a tired man. I've been up battling JetBlue since 4:45 this morning. But anyway.
The real feud.
The Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive is here. Have no fear. The talk shows are running, baby. If you missed Tony Atlas at 9, check it out now. For Matt Degnan, I'm Dan Mirade. Until we see you, LIVE live Thursday night for a big doubleheader along with Marty Jannetty. You and yours, be well, stay healthy. Good night. Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive is here. Coronavirus has been the Grinch in preventing a live wrestling event from taking place in 2020. But November and December will bring you an unbelievable series of live television tapings, raffles, merchandise, and cyber autograph signings, including 2 all-inclusive VIP packages you're not going to want to miss out on. We'll discuss a little later in this video. Let's take a look at this all-star lineup of superstars headed your way for the holiday season. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush, who's going to be co-hosting Wrestling Insider's Rush Hour, the miniseries, kicks off our 2020 efforts Thursday, November the 5th. Leo was the first to open his heart to our efforts to keep Paul Bearer's name alive and put smiles on kids' faces. Then on Saturday night, November the 14th, WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas will be with us again, signing autographs, meeting, greeting online, as well as having his renowned artwork available. Friday night, November the 20th, Sunday night, November the 22nd, during our Survivor Series watch-along, former Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion Marty Jannetty will be with us live. When it comes to Marty, expect the unexpected. Early December explodes with brand new superstars coming to MWF Studios for the very first time on Friday night, December the 4th, during WWE SmackDown. Join former Intercontinental Champion and Nation of Domination member Savio Vega, with rumors that the martial arts expert Kwang may join us as well. On Saturday, December the 5th, batten down the hatches, former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, will be live in studio for what should be an extremely memorable taping and cyber autograph signing Great chance to get one of the top tag teams of the 80s and 90s together. Sunday, December the 6th, we're going to have an NXT TakeOver watch-along with WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke. From 1988 through 1996, Luke had a memorable run in WWE with a career spanning the globe since the 60s. Friday night, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in the history of professional wrestling, the Warlord, joins us in studio, looking back at his big run in the WWF from 1988 through 1992. Saturday night, December the 12th, join us for a rare appearance by a superstar that was undefeated in the WWF for nearly 2 years, Native American Tatanka. We cap it off Sunday, December the 13th with one of the future stars of professional wrestling, having competed here in Boston Wrestling MWF, more recently in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament, Wheeler Yuta. John Cena Sr. is going to be taking part in a live cyber signing as well and is working on recruiting even more superstars to join our efforts to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house in 2020. You never know who or what to expect as we work our magic to create smiles on kids' faces around the globe, around the clock. VIP packages are available now. Early bird pricing through November the 15th. It's limited to 50 fans. The VIP Elite package, that comes with one autograph photo of all 11 featured superstars, plus a bonus Quang autographed 8x10. It also includes an autographed Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive 2020 11x17 poster, and a raffle ticket to win a package of WWE NXT 11x14 autographed posters, thanks to our friends at NXT down in Orlando. We also have a standard VIP package that includes one autograph photo of each of our 11 featured superstars, plus a raffle ticket to win a limited edition Drew McIntyre, one of only 36 WrestleMania 36 autographed 8x10 photo from our friends at WWE. If you're not interested in an all-inclusive VIP package, don't worry. Each superstar will be available for individual autographs. A mail order is also available for your own personal items. Don't worry, if you can't join us for all of the live cyber autograph signings that are going to be streaming online, your 8x10 photo will still be signed and mailed to your home. If you get a VIP package after a superstar's signing is already taking place, again, don't worry, they're going to sign plenty for the entire holiday season. Those that purchase individual photos, they'll be shipped right after the signing takes place. The VIP packages will be shipped in one giant package beginning December the 14th. We continue to miss the late, great Paul Bearer each and every day. His heart of gold continues to shine with our annual Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive efforts, and this year, again, will be no exception. 2020, it's been a rough year for all of us, but get ready for a season of Boston wrestling sports memories and legends while putting smiles on kids' faces. In December, that's what it's all about. VIP packages and individual autographs are available now at bostonwrestling.com.